Some women are unforgettable, not because they chase, but because they simply are. She walks into a room, and without a single word, the atmosphere shifts. There's a subtle pull, a quiet change in gravity. He tries to look composed, but his body tells a different story. His eyes linger for just a second too long. His breathing slows down when she starts to speak. His laughter, when she's near, is a little too quick to arrive and fades a little too fast when she leaves. These aren't just random moments. They're tiny cracks in the armor of a man who is obsessed. Men often hide their obsession, not in what they say, but in how they move. Watch him. Notice how he positions himself in a room, how he just happens to show up where she least expects him, how he occupies the same space, claiming the air around her without ever asking permission. He'll call it a coincidence, but obsession doesn't believe in chance. It thrives on ritual. Every step, every pause, every glance becomes part of an unconscious orbit, a silent circle he draws around her, never confessing his pull. His ego insists he's in control, that he's the master of his own actions. But his body betrays him at every turn, pulled like a tide toward a force he can't resist. Psychologists have a name for this. They know his obsession isn't really about her. It's about the anima within him, the hidden feminine aspect of his own psyche that awakens in her presence. She becomes a mirror for his shadow, a projection of everything he has lost or denied within himself. And so he hides. He hides in silence. He hides in contradiction, saying one thing while his body screams another. He hides behind a practiced calmness that shatters the moment she looks away. His eyes speak the truth, his mouth refuses to form. Obsession isn't love. It's a confusing mix of hunger and fear. It's when she withdraws that his body betrays him the most. He becomes restless, shifting in his seat, his eyes scanning the room for signals she hasn't sent. He'll scroll through his phone, pausing at her name, typing out a message only to delete it before hitting send. The silence between them becomes unbearable. His body grows agitated, his mind frantic, but he continues to hide, pretending that nothing has changed, that her absence means nothing. This reveals the second secret. His control is just a mask. Beneath it, the storm of his obsession is brewing, gathering strength with every unspoken thought. At night, when the world is still and the distractions fade, his obsession moves in a different way. He replays her gestures in his mind like a movie on a loop, the specific way her lips curve when she smiles, the sound of her laugh, the memory of her hand brushing against his for a fleeting moment. He clings to these tiny fragments as if they were anchors, but they are just ghosts, intangible and fleeting. The more he remembers, the more restless he becomes. He's not haunted by who she is, but by what she awakens within him. His own shadow is demanding to be seen, but he can't bring himself to face it. So he builds silent temples in his memory. He worships her from afar, without prayers. He burns for her, without a flame. In public, his obsession becomes even sharper, more defined. He'll try to mention her name casually, as if she were just another person, but his voice changes. There's a slight shift in tone, a different energy that he can't conceal. He tries to distract himself with other people, with loud noises, with putting on different social masks, but a projection can't be undone simply by looking away. Every woman he meets is unconsciously compared to her. Every interaction is measured against the gravitational pull she holds. In his mind, she's no longer just a person. She has become a myth, an archetype, an image of his own inner world. And here lies the paradox. The more he tries to hide his feelings, the deeper the roots of his obsession grow. The psychologist Carl Jung famously said that what we repress doesn't just disappear, it erupts. The obsessed man is both a prisoner and his own guard, desperately trying to hide the very thing that is consuming him from the inside out. His obsession is written in his contradictions. He distances himself to feel like he's in control, yet he manufactures reasons to be near her again. He actively avoids her presence, yet feels completely lost and untethered when she's gone. He pretends to be unmoved by her, yet he studies her smallest gestures as if they were divine revelations, searching for meaning that isn't there. But the woman who sees things clearly, the one who is truly self-aware, doesn't mistake his silence for strength. She knows his obsession belongs to him, not to her. His secret rituals, his restless eyes, his silent worship, these are not her burdens to carry. They are his own shadows to confront. She doesn't chase him because there is nothing to claim. He is already consumed, already circling in her gravity, already tangled in the web of his own projections. The real power, then, belongs to her. Not in having control over him, but in her detachment from his inner storm. The archetypal feminine woman understands that her worth is not measured by a man's obsession, nor is her destiny tied to the secrecy of his longing. She remains still, rooted in herself, completely self-possessed. She allows him his secrets, his contradictions, his restless movements, but she does not allow them to define her or her reality. Her empowerment lies not in exposing his obsession, but in seeing it for what it is, recognizing that it was never about her, but about the parts of himself he couldn't face or claim. As she walks away, she doesn't become smaller. She expands. The man who hides his obsession like a wound may never heal it until he finally turns and faces his own shadow. But she doesn't wait for him to awaken. She carries her light beyond him, beyond the prison of his secrecy, and into a freedom that is untouched by his hunger. The final secret is this: obsession is not love. Love stands in the light of clarity, while obsession hides in the shadows. And the woman who understands this difference doesn't linger where she is hidden in someone else's darkness. She walks away, and her silence echoes louder than his concealed devotion ever could. As she disappears over her own horizon, the truth remains. Burning like a lesson he couldn't forget, the woman who walks away in silence, I senti weak, she simply sees more. Thank you so much for watching. If this resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more content that explores the deeper side of human connection. See you in the next one.